Dolmades made from scratch are a true delight, but it's not that easy to find vine leaves. So I'm going to play on the dolmade idea and make them with silverbeet instead, because we know we can find silverbeet at all our greengrocers and supermarkets. So what I've done with my silverbeet is just blanched it in some rapidly boiling water, just for a few moments, just to soften them so it's really easy to roll. After you've done that, you just want to place them onto a tray with a clean tea towel just to absorb as much water as possible. I'm going to place them to one side, and we'll continue to prep these by taking out that big stalk, because it's not very easy to wrap with that crunchy stalk. So with a sharp knife, we'll just go down each side almost like a V shape and take most of that rib out. So we'll just cut that there. And so that's how you prepare your silverbeet leaves. Now for the stuffing, I'm going to go quite traditional with the stuffing. I've got some fatty beef mince. To this, a binding agent, so 1 egg, crack that straight in, along with some garlic, just some freshly minced garlic. Spices, classic spices in a dolmade. We've got allspice and clove. You want about half a teaspoon of each. And I like a pop of sweetness from some raisins. And before adding them, what I do is just boil some water and let them soak for about 10 minutes, drain them off. They're just much softer and more palatable. Okay, so that's the sweet element. Now we need a little bit of zest, so lemon zest. And the rest of the lemon I'm going to slice up, because this is going to perfume the broth that I'm going to cook this in. So zest of 1, and we'll reserve that for later. And some herbs, combination of parsley and dill. And with the dill, we'll just take the woody stalks away. Just want those delicate leaves. And I like a good hit of dill. If you're not that into dill, you can actually just leave it out and put parsley. Fantastic also. Okay, we'll scrunch that up, and then we'll finally chop our dill and our parsley. All right, big handful of dill and parsley. With these stalks, we're just going to finely chop them, and then for the leaves, wrap it all up, and we're just going to chop that up. Okay. You can see I'm very generous with the herbs. Okay, seasoning time, a good pinch of salt and some freshly cracked pepper. And half a cup of rice. Now I'm using some risotto rice for this, so a short grain rice. We'll just measure that out. And there's no need to cook the rice beforehand. As it cooks in the stock, slowly, that rice will absorb the liquid. All right, once it's half mixed, just get your hand in there and just mash it together to really bind everything together. So once it's bound quite well and a little bit sticky, we can start rolling. So we'll grab our silverbeet leaf. We'll grab a small amount of the mixture. We'll pop that on the bottom half, and then we start wrapping. So roll it up like a little parcel, fold in the sides, and that's our first silverbeet parcel. Got a bit of work to do. We're going to wrap all these, then we'll go on to the next stage. Silverbeet parcels are all wrapped, and now we need to assemble in a dish. Now I like to use a saute pan for this because it's quite wide, and it just means that we can add a little more to it. And I like them to be side by side, quite snug is what we're after. So this particular pan will actually hold about 12. And then when you see those tiny little gaps, we're going to fill that with some lemon. So the zest that we used before, we'll use the same lemon and really thin slices of the lemon. This is going to give the dish another lovely flavour. 4 or 5 slices is what we're after. And it also makes the dish look so pretty. So in and around, look at those colours. Okay, now this needs to cook slowly in a beautiful broth. So I actually like to use chicken stock for this. It's got a lovely savoury flavour, and I don't need to season this whatsoever because there's enough salt in the actual stock. So we want about 1 litre of the stock to completely submerge our silverbeet. You can see how they're rising slightly. We don't want that. We want them to really stay submerged. So my little tip is to grab a plate, turn it upside down, pop that over the top, and that'll just ensure that they stay underneath that chicken stock. Lid goes on. We'll turn the heat on. I like to start with a high heat, and once it almost starts to boil, we'll turn it down to a low heat and gently cook this for about 40 to 45 minutes. It smells so good in here, so let's have a look at these gorgeous silver beet wraps. I'm going to carefully take off this plate. It's done its job. It is piping hot. Might use some tongs just to get that out safely. Oh, and look at that. See all that delicious broth that's formed. So I'm going to just place a few of these on a plate. You can drain from the excess stock. The stock has done its job. I tend to serve it just as is, maybe 3 per person, on a plate with a little extra lemon on the side for a garnish. And then we'll place them down. And if you have a little feta on standby, I've just been crumbling some just for the top of it. And that right there is a beautiful, wholesome dish. I think I should cut into one of these just to show you how lovely it looks inside. Ooh, let's cut this one here. Oh, look at that. Perfectly cooked rice, tender, juicy meat. Have a taste of that. A little of the feta. That is such a beautiful dish. And I love how the silver beet leaves just protect all that meat and rice because it's so juicy in the center. If you love dolmades, which are made with vine leaves, then why not try this with silver beet? It works really, really well. Enjoy.